unity, enough unity to get it passed. Here to weigh in is the Independent Women's Forum Senior Policy Analyst Patrice Leonwuka and former White House Senior Policy Analyst Oliver McGee. Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
Oliver, welcome to the show. What do you think? Is there great unity to get tax reform passed in the Republican Party?
Yes, I agree with the president in his statement that I believe the House is going to pass the bill really quickly so that we can get this into the process of committee and into reconciliation. Really the difference is trying to control the increase in the deficit of about $1.5 trillion over the next 10 years. And so that's really going to be what they're going to be talking about, a reconciliation process. And both houses want to get straight to tax reform, and that's going to be also the discussion in committee as well, and trying to get individual and corporate income tax in a good control. And the president has said that we got about $4 trillion of cash offshore, so we got to put some type of incentives in the international banking transactions to be able to get that cash on here so we can get jobs.
Oliver, you brought up the deficit. You know, there's a lot of Republicans who don't want to see the deficit increased. And Patrice, so many people are concerned that the recent feud with Senators Flake and Corker, that they could derail the tax bill. But is McCain or Murkowski the real maverick here? And do you see Dems helping out?
I don't believe Dems are really going to get on board. We've seen some Democrats who've been pro-tax reform, pro-simplifying our arcane and bureaucratic tax code, backtrack and kind of go against that. When it comes to McCain and Murkowski, we've seen them kind of be the maverick, on Obamacare repeal and replace. But even before we get to those folks, we still need to get through the vote today. And we've seen some Republicans on the House side who are from high tax states being really salty. They're not willing. They're trying to derail today's budget vote because they want their pet peeve tax giveaway, kept in and kept safe. And I think this is part of the delicate dance of tax reform.
Yeah, a lot of House members are from the Midwest and the South. These are essentially no or little state income states. There was a meeting that was canceled for last night among many of these high tax state members. So if the SALT deduction, the state and local tax deduction, were taken away, they wouldn't be on board with that. But I want you to listen to this soundbite from Senator Chuck Schumer, and we'll respond on the other side. It gets pretty dramatic at the end. Take a listen.
They say, well, let's just take away the deduction for people above 100,000, 200,000, even 400,000. Or they say you can choose between taking the state and local deduction or the mortgage deduction. That one's like saying, taxpayer, we'll chop your right hand off or your left hand off. We're giving you the choice.
Oh, Oliver, come on. They're being dramatic. This is all part of the negotiation, right?
Absolutely. This is part of the sausage making that takes place in the budget process. Make no bones about it. This is about getting to tax reform. Essentially, the GOP has about 50 votes that they have to get this through, budget and also tax reform to get it to the president's desk. It's a very small window of 2 votes on the GOP side. I don't think we're going to be getting any type of Democratic votes on this, and we're probably going to bring in Vice President Pence to close this deal. But this is part of the sausage making in trying to close this budget. Again, this is about trying to get to individual and corporate tax relief, because this is what's going to drive this economy. We've got $5 trillion of wealth that has been built since President Trump was elected. But also President Trump definitely said this morning that we have $4 trillion offshore that needs to come back in and get repatriated. So that requires some tax treatment so we can take that cash and bring it back here, because we need to create jobs in those states, in the Rust Belt states that put President Trump into office. Jobs, and also reducing the deficits, and then at the same time get some really good sound tax since we've seen in the Reagan years.
Oliver, Patrice, thank you so much for your time this morning. Have a good day.
Thank you.